You've been imprisoned for who knows how long. Every day, a jailer beats you to death with malice in his eyes. Every day, you wait for the sweet release that death will bring. Then, one day, a strange man wearing an oversized rabbit mask frees you from your bonds, tells you that defeating the jailer will earn your freedom, and returns your sword and pistol. You rise from the ground and step to face the first of many guardians to come. You will be free. The game Baker's FURI is a mixture of fast-paced melee combat with twin-stick shoot-'em-up action, and the entire focus is one-on-one fights with powerful guardians that might as well be bosses. There are no little enemies or minions to slay, it's simply boss fight after boss fight, with each fight being entirely unique to all of those before it, and, for the most part, the game follows a pretty linear difficulty curve. Originally, the game's progenitor, Emmerich Thoe, came up with the idea for an intense, almost tiring game that felt like one long duel. A boss fight where the enemy was very similar to the player, similar size, similar strength, something to make the player almost evenly matched against their opponents. This game, FURI, is the realization of that idea. As you're approaching boss fights, the game will tease you with bits of information about the next enemy, who they are in relation to the character you play as, the stranger, what their role was in putting you in the prison that you're trying so desperately to escape. Some of the bosses have personal vendettas against you that they spout before the fight. Others are simply there because it's a job. The characterization that gradually gathers and grows for the stranger is incredible. Using almost passive exposition with little to no real detail, combined with the dialogue of your enemies and even the stranger's own motions and actions during some fights, makes for a story that's thrilling to piece together, a story that has you grasping for those next strands of information. The fights themselves are exactly what I assume Emmerich was aiming for: difficult, demanding, and unforgiving. Each boss harder than the last, and each boss with multiple stages and attack patterns. It's a game of learning patterns and punishing openings, a game of patience. And the best part is that thanks to how simple the mechanics are, as well as how precise the controls and timings feel, it's very rare that a loss will feel like it's the game's fault. In combat, you can swing your sword, shoot your automatic pistol, parry enemy attacks, and dodge. You can charge the sword swings, the pistol shots, and the dodge for more powerful versions of each ability. A dash attack with your sword that deals a lot of damage and can leave the enemy open for a combo. A large blast of energy from the pistol that knocks your enemy down, and a more effective dodge. The flow of battle is an interesting one. You have 3 bars of health at your disposal, while bosses typically have 6. Often, each bar will actually need to be depleted twice. Once in a zoomed out mode like this, and once in a close-up fight like this. Together, these two modes make up one phase of a fight. Once you complete a phase, your current health bar will get fully recharged, but if at any point your current health bar gets depleted, you have to start the whole phase over. All of this comes together to create extremely challenging, rewarding, and memorable fights that'll have your heart pounding and palms sweating. I can only imagine the amount of thought and testing that went into planning each of any one boss's phases, and the effort very, very clearly shows. Each fight is carefully balanced to create a just barely winnable situation, and each fight will take many tries. There have been multiple times where I've been stuck on a single boss for over an hour, and the moment when you finally mark off another beaten enemy is just awesome. I will say that it's not all perfect. This is probably a personal taste thing, but I feel that the game is really at its best when a fight is more about the melee combat than it is about the bullet hell side of things. It's simply more visceral, and to me, more entertaining when you're right up on a boss's face duking it out. FURI offers 3 difficulty settings. The recommended one, FURI, is the one that I played on for this review. I did check out the Promenade difficulty just below it, and the game actually warns you that the fights won't be nearly as challenging or rewarding if you change to that difficulty, as well as that you can't change the difficulty back. I wanted to see just how much easier it is, and the game is, unsurprisingly, totally right. Bosses only have a couple of health bars, and the amount of damage both parties do is exponentially raised. You miss out on so much by lowering the difficulty. I honestly really advise against it. Now, the cherry and icing on top of the cake that is this fantastic game is its soundtrack, created by an incredible selection of artists that really gives so much to FURI's atmosphere and intensity. Couple that with character designs by the artist of Afro Samurai, and you get an attitude that meshes perfectly with the high-stakes combat and the quirky story that makes up the rest of the game. FURI is a game that, on the surface, asks very simple things of the player. Go here, beat the boss, go beat the next one. The simplicity and depth of the combat is what makes this worth playing. The challenge, the effort that it takes to learn each of an enemy's phases, and the concentration that it takes to actually defeat the boss that you're facing are all puzzle pieces that come together to make a truly thrilling and rewarding experience. FURI launches today, July 5th on PS4 and PC on Steam for about $25. I'd say that if you're a fan of anything hard but fair, then this is definitely one that you should give a look-see. Thanks for joining me for this episode of Indie Bytes. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please remember to leave a like and subscribe for more stuff like this. Be sure to check out the other content that we put out on this channel, and remember to drop me a line here on Twitter or through email with any game recommendations that you've got. You can find all that stuff down in the description below. I'll see you next time. Bye!